Jill Tracy from the 50th Senate District. I want to express my extreme appreciation for Senator Bryant. With her expertise, having been retired from a Department of Corrections, she has keen oversight and insight as to this, and she has great connections and bringing to light this very concerning issue. I too have several prisons in my district, and Senator Bryant and I requested to visit Western Illinois Correctional Center in Mount Sterling. I previously in the 90s had actually taught college classes at that facility, and I'm very familiar with the people that work there. And likewise, I was the city attorney when the facility was built, and so part of the whole process in seeing that facility. So we've been made aware that illegal drugs are coming in through the mail. And this is very concerning because legal mail can be mocked up to appear to be legal when in fact if it's legal, it's privileged mail and cannot be looked at. And it's very easy to mock that up, to duplicate it and make it appear legal mail when in fact it's not. And often these pages that come through this legal mail are soaked in a substance like fentanyl or K2 or something that would be smoked and give a high type feeling. And then it's sprayed with some kind of chemical spray like a roach spray to kind of hide the smell of fentanyl or whatever it's with. It's things that wouldn't be normally detected through the mail. And what we found is that employees are being exposed to this. And sometimes it's when they open the mail, but most likely it's when the inmate gets the mail, rolls it, smokes it, lights it up, smokes it, and then the smoke is the hazardous material that is something that the inmate's ingesting, and likewise it pervades through the air and has caused a lot of correctional guards, correctional officers to be afflicted by this, to the chemical. As you can imagine, fentanyl covered by roach spray is a very hazardous chemical, and to think that someone would smoke that for most of us is astounding, but it is happening. And alarming numbers of DOC staff and especially the correctional officers have been taken to the ER. And most troubling is, besides the exposure that leads them to go to the ER, what are the long-term effects? Who knows what this chemical exposure will do long-term to those that work in there? Senator Bryant and I visited Western Illinois Correctional Center, and I might add, it was kind of concerning to me that it took 6 weeks for us to be given an appointment to go into that facility. But nevertheless, we did go. It was Halloween Day. And right before that, I had spoken with a DOC employee, a 35-year-old man who had been taken to Pittsfield Blessing Hospital by ambulance after being exposed to the smoke of these papers. And he went into AFib in the ambulance. He's 35 years old, and what he told me is, I am really scared. When they shaved my chest, put the paddles on my chest, I kept thinking, I have young children at home. What am I doing? This is just unacceptable. Should I continue working where I'm working? So the week of my visit, a mailroom employee had an extreme coughing fit. Imagine coughing so hard that you have to have an ambulance come and get you. And she was taken to the ER because of this coughing spell. And most likely, I believe it was caused by this exposure to these tainted papers. When we visited Western Illinois Correctional Center, the officers would kind of whisper in my ear as we were going along the tour and say, this is really happening. It's scary, it's dangerous. This has been going on for a very long time, years actually. And later when we met in the conference room to summarize our visit, some of the tactical force brought in plastic bags. And you could see the mail that had been put in these plastic bags had a funny look of being soaked in something. The ink was kind of smeared, or the paper had watermarks on it and the like. So right there we could see what was happening. And they showed us how, I was naive. I said, how do they light this? There, shouldn't be any kind of materials to light this. And as we know, inmates are very inventive, and you can just take 2 batteries with a couple of wires to it, and just in an instant you had fire. And so this is what's happening. It's coming in. And so we asked DOC, can you scan the mail? Stop. The other states have done it. Stop having the mail come in, scan it through an iPad. The inmates would have their personal mail available to them. And they've actually entered into a contract to do that, but we're told it's going to take 7 months. And I said, well, that's, to me, unacceptable. There's 7 months more of exposures, because we know of dozens of officers and staff that have been taken throughout the state at DOC facilities. So what's going to happen in the meantime? Come up with a temporary fix. It's got to be done. And not only is it the staff at DOC that's being exposed, the residents likewise. Some of the residents aren't participating in this, and they are being exposed. And I would think they should be definitely given consideration and being protected as well. Besides mail, we know there's other sources. Corrections needs to beef up its game, beef up its security. They admit it's coming in. In our conference room, they showed us tainted mail. It's no secret. It's got to be dealt with. It's pervasive, and it's been going on for a long time. And again, as I say, DOC knows it's happening, and we expect more. And what I was leading up to is I was recently asked by DOC staff to publicize the hiring of correctional officers. And I said, how can I ask a correctional officer to go into an unsafe environment? We need correctional officers. It's the front line of our public safety across Illinois. And how can we ask somebody to go to DOC, start a job, when they're going to be exposed to chemicals? DOC's got to stop this and take every precaution, and it comes from the top on down. We need better security in place.